Everybody likes to know when you're podcasting, and then you get a different camera and see everything sideways. Nobody's here yet. Nick Roman isn't. In his place is Ethan. Say hello to Ethan. No one's in the stream yet. So I got to tell people we're doing this.
Get on in.
Okay, Aaron Crutchfield. Hello, as a familiar face. So yeah, you're seeing the podcast from a different angle this time because now we're using a GoPro to just. How about you guys look into the sun the entire time? Yeah, that's good. That's better. Is that better? Is that better? We'll probably move the camera like a whole bunch of times. So now you're seeing the podcast thing from another angle. So what you see in the background there is where the podcast is going to be. And as of now, I'm sticking toward GoPros. And I know I'm not looking directly at you, but Ethan's looking directly at you. Because you can see on the camera there, like what the people see. And again, I have to click on this. Share. There we go. Share on Twitter. Tweet. There we go. So welcome to RCR podcast. I forget the number. What did I say? 116?
I think 116.
Yeah. Ethan helped me pick up Susie, which is RCR's forerunner. See, how about this? How about I look toward you and we both look away from the camera at the exact same time? Like not look at the camera at all. See, if I put the camera over there, it's just going to see the light coming in through the windows. So it's almost like we need two cameras, needing one for him and then one for me. So this is what we're going to learn with the new setup, that we're definitely going to have one person to like switch in between the two. So I mean, it'll work right now. For now. So what'd you think of the EV?
It's smooth.
Yeah.
Easy car to drive.
Oh shoot. I don't think your mic's on. There. Testing on me, testing on me, testing on me.
Testing.
Testing. We sound good? See, this is how professional I am. I don't even have my cans on. I'm not even monitoring the levels.
No little light indicator on either.
No. Well, you were off on the board and now he's on. Everybody, Brian.
Oh.
Brian.
Brian.
That's not your name.
Oh, wait.
Brian.
Ethan.
Brian.
Ethan.
Are we good? Ethan's is still low. Okay. Brian.
Ethan.
Brian.
Ethan.
This is money.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Help.
Me, him. All right, they say that's good now. All right, so was this your first EV that you ever drove?
Yes, very first.
Okay, so what were your initial impressions?
It with the little charger port thing for it on the little buttons for the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I forget what you call it. It was really weird at first, but when I was driving on the way back, I was messing with it a bunch.
Yeah.
I see the appeal of it. It's pretty cool.
Did you see the little indicator go up and down?
Yeah. Same with like the charging thing on the on the speedometer.
It tells you how it's charging up and down. And yeah, like I feel like there isn't really a setting on that car for it to mimic a regular car. Like feel like a normal car.
Yeah.
It does do the creep move in that, you take your foot off the
brake and it just
it'll move forward. Teslas by default don't do that.
Oh, really?
Like it'll just be dead. And it won't until you give the potentiometer a little bit of power, it's not gonna move it. But So far, every like Kia I've been in who does that does that. I don't think there's a way to turn that off. I think by default they will creep forward.
I wonder if they are trying to simulate like gas-powered cars. Because I know
Yeah.
that's how all of them are.
Right, because you're always just pulling on the torque converter if it's an automatic, and if you're a manual, well, then that's a totally different driving style. But I guess it's like been drilled into us that that's what a car does. When you take your foot off the brake, it just starts going. Yeah. I mean, there are some gas cars that don't do that. The original smart cars don't do that.
Oh, really?
Because they're automated manuals. But I think all the Focuses that people hate that are automated manuals, because like Focuses, and people in the chat will correct me, that I think it was 09 to 2016 or something like that, where Ford had an automated manual as their automatic option, and people didn't know that it was underneath. It was a manual transmission with a dual clutch, that with two like actuators that would move in and out, and they would always judder after a while. Boz says in most EVs it's called creep mode. Not sure if Tesla has it. Aaron Crutchfield said it was 2011 to 16, so I guess I was almost there. We had It's Matto. Oh, there he is again. It's Matto. It's Matto is he told me his real name. I forgot. It's he's the guy who will be helping out for RCR Australia, which is definitely not going to be Sydney. So I think most people in Australia would say, "Thank God you're coming to Australia, and it's not going to be Sydney." It's Matto says my mom has one of those that creeps when you take the brake off. Cool. Ford Focus Auto. Hello. Yeah, it's an odd time. What's today? Wednesday. It's Wednesday. To be doing it Wednesday at like 6 p.m. It's not even 6 p.m. to be streaming. As I spill coffee on myself. All right. So, Ethan, your car history. Where does it begin?
Where does it begin?
Yeah.
It's very short and very small history for me in cars. Most I probably know is to mildly change one of my spark plugs.
Okay.
And I probably watch a few YouTube videos on how to do an oil change, but I haven't done it in action yet.
Yeah.
So I'm very blind to that kind of stuff.
What was the car you learned to drive on?
It was, oh shit, I remember this. It was this really old beater truck my dad had on his land. And it only had 3 shifts for it. So it kind of learned on stick almost. And pretty much that was like the first starting car for me. I remember being like 10 years old for it.
When you say land, was it a farm?
Yeah. He had like a little horse farm. Yeah, going on.
Are you from PA originally?
Yeah, I'm from PA originally, but my dad moved out to California, and then he kind of just did his own thing out there.
Oh, okay. And that's where the land was that you learned how to drive?
Yep. It was like pretty much like on top of this hill, like on this really flat, deserty hill.
Yeah.
He lived at, and it was like the perfect territory just to rip this little truck around.
And you remember when you said it was 3 speeds? Was it a manual?
Yeah, or was it? It was a shifter.
Okay.
So like had a clutch and everything on it too.
So was it a column shifter? Was it like an old?
It was one of these kind of guys, like the one in the middle.
Okay. So it was older. And you said it had 3 speeds.
Yeah.
So 3 on the floor. Or are you counting reverse as a speed?
Not a reverse. So it only had 3 gears for it. So 4 if you're including reverse.
All right. So some C10s, so some Chevy square bodies did come with a manual and did have a 3-speed manual. Do you remember the brand?
I do not.
Okay.
I was really young when
that's an interesting thing. A 3 on the floor. So that could have been late 60s, early 70s. Do you know if it had did it have an airbag?
Oh, it was like all open. I think you might have took the doors off if it even had doors on it. It was like probably like a very short point A to point B kind of thing, just to pick up stuff and bring it over here on his land.
So it was not, you didn't drive it on the road.
Not at all.
It was just a farm truck.
Yeah, it was like a farm truck.
So the Racing Mind says old Ford with a bull low, possibly. Gosh, I'm still leaning towards C10 because they just made so many of those things, and most of them did end up as farm trucks. So what happened? What was the next car after the farm truck that you operated?
Oh man, what was it? It had to have been like either one of my dad's trucks or my mom's like SUVs or something.
Okay.
Most of them were automatic, so I didn't really get much with like practice with like shifting and stuff.
Okay.
Driving those kind of cars.
Let's get
Or
a
automatics.
track here with just move this mic a little bit. Yay. Boot, boot, boot. In front of, in the general direction of where we're talking. Is that going to hold itself there? Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Oh, Isaac says GM trucks had 3-speed manuals up until the 1980s. Okay, so you got all the 70s to think about. 4 on the floor that had a replacement knob with 3-speed labeling, maybe. I think normally when you have like old farm trucks and if your gear lever, for whatever reason, you lose your gear knob, it's usually replaced with whatever or nothing.
Or nothing.
Yeah, just a stick coming out of there. So you are getting ready to learn how to drive. Where are you, and do you remember what you're driving? Like the test is coming up. The driver's test is coming up.
Oh, the driver's test. Okay.
Yeah.
I was driving my 07 Corolla, the car I still have now.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that was my car to like actually get my license and stuff.
How did you come to own a 07 Corolla? By the way, fantastic car.
Oh, it's the best car.
Ultimate student car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't die. It's great on gas.
Yeah.
Before the inflation.
Yeah.
But it's still really good on prices regardless right now.
Yeah.
But oh wait, shoot, where were we again?
How did you come to own the glorious 07 Corolla?
I remember my dad helped me with it. He pretty much paid for it for me since it is like an older car, so it's not super expensive.
No.
And I pretty much was just asking anything that's very cheap on gas. That's all I need in my life.
Right.
Anything that can run forever and just be really good on gas, because that's all you really need for like a starter car. And he found that guy up in California and he shipped it over to me.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, I can fix those headlights like in 10 minutes.
Oh shit.
Like defog them.
Oh really?
Yeah. I can show you the glory that is Maguire's Plasti X. And you have black wheels on there. Are those different wheels?
Yeah, different rims.
Oh, did it come like that?
No, not at all. He got them custom for me. Not custom, but he bought them for me.
Oh, interesting.
Make it look a little bit meaner.
All right, I'm thinking of all the possibilities to do with that because that's one of my favorite generations of Corollas out there.
Is it really moddable? I guess you could say.
No, as in like increasing the power. I mean, I think they're still running blacktop engines in there, which are fantastic, but with great fluid dynamics and everything. But the only better engine that goes into those particular models is the 2ZZ, which is like only matters if you have a manual. And if you don't, that's not what a Corolla is for. Just keep doing oil changes. Just keep following the maintenance schedule and just run it till its piston rings wear down and you lose compression, or finally Pennsylvania rust just takes it away. And then you just buy another Corolla. Or the Toyota Matrix, which is a Corolla in every other part of the world. That's the Corolla hatch that we never got. But for whatever reason, they didn't call it here. They had to call it the Matrix, where it's that car, but in sort of a crossover form.
Yeah, it's probably a lot more space than what I have too.
A little bit more. Like, I mean, yeah, you would get more. You could load stuff into it, but it's the same amount of cargo capacity, same power, same everything else. Mushover says, sitting in my 04 Corolla, partaking in the past. Here's an interesting question. Wonder how driver's ed will change when electric vehicles become a plurality of hand-me-downs for new drivers. It's a good question. It's too new. It's too soon to make any sort of predictions. The only data we have to look at is the Nissan Leaf, which is still the cheapest thing you can buy. But those vehicles have problems because they had air-cooled, the original Gen 1s, they had air-cooled batteries. So the batteries cooked.
Oh, geez.
So when those batteries got hot, there was no a way to supplement their heat. It's like this, like having an iPhone in a totally enclosed case and then try to do serious stuff with it. It's just going to cook, get really hot. So without any airflow, a lot of those, we saw a lot of battery degradation with first generation Nissan Leafs. Modern cars like the Kia you just drove, I believe it uses its air conditioner to run air conditioning, like R134A through a water. I originally thought it was completely water cooled, and now I was corrected that no, it just uses air conditioner to cool the battery pack. So that's something. Chuck Gawk says, "What are your thoughts on a 2015 Mazda Miata?" Great, good, buy it, fantastic. The Mazda Miata is the saying the Mazda Miata is to cars what trying to think of a video game reference. Something.
They're the cars with the pop-up headlights, right?
Yeah, the first gen ones had those, and then they went away in Gen 2, 3, and 4. People were sad. But I guess it's like, what's the best video game? Final Fantasy VII, and everybody rolls their eyes like, yes, of course it is. It's the one that got everybody into playing role-playing games, like that sort of thing. So to have like a controversial opinion about Miatas, like everything's been said. It's like trying to start like a blog about Final Fantasy, and it's like, it's done. Is there anywhere for that franchise to go anymore?
That's it. It's been said.
That's it. It's been said. So we were talking in the car about that convention that went under, that we were both at and didn't know we were both there. The one in Harrisburg.
Oh, yeah.
Capital City something or other. And the chair of the convention ran off with how much money?
Oh, man. It's like a few grand at least.
A few.
Not like anything super crazy, but
was it over 10 grand?
Was it?
Because there's that story of that, how somebody during the convention just threw down their credit card or was convinced to.
Yeah.
Someone with poor judgment. Because the convention, like, they didn't pay something, or the hotel needed.
Yeah, the hotel's about to like kick them out, I think.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like on the verge of just like, hey, if you don't pay us now, we're gonna kick you out. And the guy's just like, oh, I remember it now. The guy Nitro was like, to the one kid trip I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you could save the con and like convince them that way. Like if you give us a few grand, you'll save the con and be like this Holy Spirit pretty much kind of thing.
Yeah.
And somehow convince them to give him a few grand and never paid him back and just ran with it.
So where is this person now, this huckster?
I honestly have no clue.
Did they flee Pennsylvania?
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they have. I don't know.
What I wish I would have done is I was there and I had radios on me because I was driving my old camera car that still had all our film equipment. I had two-way radios. If I had this with me, my little Zoom recorder, I would have just, through the accessory, just plugged this into the radio and just let it run until the batteries ran out. So you could have a log of everything that was said on the radios.
Oh my goodness.
Between them talking to each other. And then, but we don't have that. So I don't know. It's just this wonderful piece of lore, because I knew the con was in trouble as I was driving to it.
Yeah.
But then I started talking to people, and you have a few drinks and you kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
Because nothing, from my perspective, nothing about the convention was done poorly.
Yeah, no, I had fun regardless.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, my friend, you know Hex?
No.
At all? Oh, man.
Are they from PA?
Yeah. He had a panel there.
Yeah.
And it was only for like an hour, but we ended up being in that room for like 3 hours just chilling and bullshitting the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that was like probably my highlight of the con there.
Huh.
Because like it was, I mean, we didn't do anything else because there really wasn't much going on for a small con.
No, really. And
so we ended up just taking over this room for a few hours, and staff ended up coming through and not kicking us out or anything.
Yeah.
We were just chilling the whole time.
Yeah, and I think people had low expectations going in. It's like, well, it's a small con. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. Tiny dealer's room. Friggin' Dr. Conway was there, taking donations at one point.
Wait, what?
Or something like pay me to drink wine. Super weird. I haven't talked to that guy in a decade. So the one Kia says Doge, and you're right. You see a little sign up there on top of my table. You won't know the meaning of that for another 2 weeks. Mushbrow says all of my friends were at TTFC. I don't know what that is. Texas or Tennessee.
Oh, wait. TTFC. The one, wait, Texas Furry Fiesta.
Oh, right, that
one?
one. Yeah, I thought that was Alamo City, or maybe they changed the name. Who
I
knows?
forget.
Space Monkey Boom says you can destroy any con with $300 in Skyline Chili. At least you can destroy the bathrooms. Skyline Chili. Never before have I eaten so much and tasted so little.
Skyline Chili?
Yeah, it's in friggin' Cincinnati. It's like, you know how we have cheesesteaks?
Yeah.
Like, Skyline Chili is like cold spaghetti, Hormel chili, and like plastic shredded cheese, like in a bowl.
Oh.
It's worse than a taco in a bag if you had a taco in a bag. I would rather have 5 tacos in a bag, and honestly, because Fritos are awesome, than eat Skyline Chili again. Lapo1 says, did the guest podcast happen? Yeah. It did happen. It's on iTunes. You just search the Adam Friedland Show, and there it is. So it's myself, Nick Roman, Adam Friedland, and Nick Mullen. And we're on that. It's even on video. Like, it's grossly dimly lit. It was a very tonal shift from what normally goes on the Adam Friedland Show. This was that podcast I was talking about where we went out for drinks afterwards, and 4 drinks came up to $70.
Oh yeah,
because we're in Manhattan. What are you gonna? Yeah. But normally they're used to having comedians on. And then there's like 2 car guys show up, and we just talk about cars. And it was really interesting being around comedians, like professional touring comedians. Their previous podcast was called Come Town, which was fantastic. You can search it on YouTube. It's like, there's some pretty good zingers on there. And but it became the Adam Friedland Show when one of the comedians left to do full-time touring. And to be around comedians, man, it's like their minds work so fast.
Oh, geez.
To be around a person who can just go joke, and pick apart what you're saying and find the funny in it. It's like, you're a different league of human. Like, this is, I don't know what the equivalent is. It's like watching someone who's really good at first-person shooters, and it's grotesque to try to play with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know some people like that? So we have our first super chat, and from Senor Cheesy, and it goes, what is your thought on the Kia Hyundai TikTok challenge? I don't know there was a TikTok challenge.
I haven't heard of that one.
No? Also, can you read this in the weatherman voice? Yeah, sure. Where's my, I'm on the silver one. Our weather today is, there we go. What is your thought on the Kia Hyundai TikTok challenge? Also, can you read this in the weatherman voice? Kia Hyundai is about stealing them. The challenge is stealing it with a USB drive. Senor Cheesy, oh no, I meant a link that I sent. Well, you can't send links in in the YouTube chat window. It's part of the thing. I don't know. So that was full bass, no treble, no mid. Yeah, the links get filtered out by YouTube. You want to see what it's like to just sit on this end? You can see the chat go by.
Yeah. Switch it up.
Yeah. It's rarely I take the not driver's seat. Like, this is what we're going for, in that I will have somebody take care of the chat and like read stuff. Sometimes Nick does it. But the idea would be for Nick and I just to have a conversation. And you can pull the mic in front of you a little bit.
Where's my tape? I forgot.
Yeah. Is to just have someone to work the board. Although right now there's no board to work since it's one camera. The idea is when we'll get to have OBS, it's just like another you'd have another window open, and then you'd have you would see 2 screens, which would represent 2 different cameras. And then you would just click on either one as source.
Okay.
And so from every now and again, you could flip the camera to what people on YouTube would see, right or left. And, oh, yeah. Let me actually have a little
waterfall it.
Oh yeah, it's all right. It's a beer. It's okay. I was asked it for, you got to meet Ben McElwee, who lives here too. He is he works at the brewery on 78. I don't know if we can say the name of the brewery. Do you know what I'm talking about? You're on your way to
Sure.
You're on your way to Allentown.
Oh, I'm super unfamiliar with that.
Okay. Anyway, he lives out there, and he's a director of logistics or something like that. So he always brings us stuff from the brewery, like, here, try this, try this, try this.
Oh, that's good. Cool.
So, and he was talking to Joe. I don't know if they're going to try to get some different stuff in, because Sam Adams bought Dogfish Head. And Sam Adams, even though Sam Adams isn't Sam Adams anymore, it's Boston Beer, and Sam Adams is now a label under that. They also own Truly. So,
okay.
So a lot of those sub brands come from them. They make this one called Fruitful Fort, and I don't know if they offer it on taps. I just wish there used to be in this area. There used to be Schuylkill Mountain Brewing, and Joe had it on tap, and that was amazing. It made this awesome. Okay, yeah, it had been. When did you start? Like a year ago or 2 years ago?
About a year ago now.
Okay. How'd you find out about the Brick House?
Honestly, just job searching.
Really?
I just found it. Yeah. I'm gonna go for the Crimson House first, and they never got back to me. And I tried the Brick House, and they got back to me like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where's a Crimson House?
It's Raintown, right in Pottsville.
Oh, okay. It's not where Hucklebucks used to be. That's
right
not
near the what's it called? The Wheel. I think it's like right in that vicinity.
Okay. The Crimson House. It's not where Trip and Billy used to be. Is it on Center Street?
I think so.
Okay. Is it near the Majestic Theater?
Oh, yeah, I think it's near the pizza place. Yeah, and the theater too. Yeah, I think it's like right across the street from the theater.
Okay. And then that brewery opened up near the theater.
Yeah.
What's that place called? I know Cousin Dave runs it, and another guy who does like amateur professional wrestling.
Oh, I forget the name.
Yeah.
That place.
I know. I've been there a bunch of times. They experiment all the time with their drinks. Yeah. And it's like the closest thing you have to Pottsville hipsters go there. I know. I'm sorry. The people in the chat, we're talking about very specific Pennsylvania things.
There's a lot of those.
What are people saying? I know we're on a delay.
Someone thought you were on break.
Am I on break? Well, yeah, I am, like from RCR production, because a video didn't go up this Monday because we're getting ready for our trip to be with the YouTuber Do It With Dan down in Georgia. But the next 2 weeks are already done, so videos are coming up. And if you see any super chats where it's highlighted, you can just let me know, because those guys paid to have, I
see one of them.
What do they say?
Thoughts on the Nissan X-Tran? Thinking about getting one that's 2000 to 2003 or 2009 to 2012.
X-Tran?
Yeah.
Not Xterra?
Or Xterra.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, so that's a Nissan with a live rear axle, and I guess I'm pretty sure independent front, or does it have live front and rear? I remember the big thing when they sold those things, that it comes with a first aid kit. That's how serious we are about off-roading. People like them. It was as close as Nissan ever got. That and the Pathfinder was as close as Nissan ever got to making a Toyota product. I think the Xterras are fine. Are they Forerunners? No, the fuck they're not. Are they good? They're all right. They're okay. I mean, a Forerunner is superior, but an Xterra is not bad. And especially if you're going for something that's going to be modified, going to be lifted, you're going to do other things with it, fantastic. But a good thing about the Xterras is, because they were unusual, they have a pretty good fan base surrounding them, and you can go on forums and find people who solved all the little bits about it. It's like people who mod PlayStation 2s and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of different things to go with that. Have you ever done any off-roading?
A little bit in the 4-wheeler when I was younger.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Was that at your dad's farm or?
He had this trail on the farm.
Yeah.
It kind of led off the property, and it was kind of like it was this weird dirt trail that was like a community dirt trail.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was the only one ever like going back and forth on it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool because I'd go right off the property and go for like 2-3 miles down until like it hit main road, and then I just turn around and go right back up.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Do you remember if the Forerunner or the 4-wheeler you had was a pull start or a electric start?
It was an electric start.
Oh.
It wasn't anything like super big.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a teenager.
Okay.
4-wheeler. I'm
guessing like a 254 stroke or something like that. Did you ever do dirt bikes and stuff like that? 2-wheel motorcycle?
Very little. I think I'd done it like once, and I remember getting really far behind on my dad and could not keep up with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to do 4-wheeling. I think I did 4-wheeling before I did the dirt biking, and I was like, I like 4-wheeling a lot more. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. You don't fall over but then when you
flip it.
Oh gosh, everybody has a person who flipped a 4-wheeler story.
Mm-hmm.
Was it you?
Or one of them.
Oh, you flipped one?
I flipped one when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
I stuck in this little ditch and I tried to just gun it out.
Yeah.
Flipped completely.
Oh, that sucks.
The 4-wheeler pretty much landed on my helmet, but I had pretty much landed on my head, but I had a helmet on, thankfully.
Yeah.
I didn't get any injuries from it at all.
Oh, nice.
So like I literally flipped this huge ass 4-wheeler and I just got up like nothing happened. I was like, all right, cool. Let's keep riding.
Yeah. Yeah, when you flip a 4-wheeler, they flip violently too.
Yeah,
they just like
quick.
It's like you can't do anything. They're going over. Yeah.
Because usually if you're falling off of it, usually accidentally gun it.
Yeah, because you grab a handful of throttle and you're whoop.
There it goes.
Yeah. So did you do any 4-wheeling? So did you move to California or did you just go there to visit?
I used to visit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was like a summer thing. So every time I was off school, I'd go down there for like a month.
Okay. And did you grow up in PA?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
My whole life.
Oh yeah. Whereabouts are you from?
Lancaster.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not too far. So what got you from the Cumberland Valley where, there's stuff going on to, it
is weird coming from a big town to here.
Yeah.
Because it's everyone knows each other. And that's one thing I got used to real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like everyone knew each other and like no matter where you were, especially working at a restaurant, so you see everybody at one point. So like even when I'm at like grocery shopping, I see like a bunch of my customers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell?
That's where you say hi to them so they know you, and then the tips get bigger.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen, oh my God, when I was at McDonald's, I think I saw like 2 people there, and I was like, what the heck's going on? I was going through the drive-thru and I saw them in their cars.
Ah, nice.
But I know in Lancaster, it's weird because like you're in the setting of like, I'll never see these people again when you're serving. But like here, I'll see those people at least 2-3 times a week, you know what I mean? Before I don't see them for a while.
Yeah. And you guys, you definitely serve my friends either. Are you tending bar yet or are you still like
just serving
serving right there? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, then I'll make sure like next time we bring a whole bunch of people, I'll have to make sure you're there. Yeah, I'll let you know coming. We'll come with a whole bunch of cash.
Drinks.
I'm sorry?
Load up on the drinks.
I have still yet like my go-to drink. I think we were talking about this. My go-to drink is a gin martini with olives. I'm not too particular what type of gin goes in it. Not Bombay Sapphire because that doesn't have enough bite for me, but I like bitter things.
And it's a bitter one, I think.
See, like mules and stuff. I know a lot of people like the mules at the Brick House. And then like there's a chocolate martini I think they were doing for a little bit. But anything that's sweet, I don't do.
Oh, really?
It's like unless we're talking beer, like I like stouts. They would have Pizza Boy there on tap for forever.
Yeah, that's a popular one there.
Yeah. Funk was good. Yingling's Hershey can suck my dick.
Oh, I did not like that one.
Oh, ugh.
I tried taste testing it every time we had it on tap, and I never liked it.
Yeah, you try coming around on it. It's like
nope.
No, chocolate lager. And it doesn't even, it's like.
It doesn't even taste like chocolate.
No.
For me.
It tastes like you just took regular Yingling and got the Hershey's and just put it in and stirred it up and said, here, what do you see?
You got a super chat.
What do you got?
Mr. Reg, why has there been no reviews of any Mercedes for years now?
Because
I love a 96 C280. I feel you would find that interesting.
Yeah, we need to do more Mercedes. The truth is, I haven't gotten many submissions for them on our official submission form, and I'm trying. there's a lot of stuff to cover, and it's all been BMWs, it's been Toyotas, it's been stuff that exists here in central Pennsylvania. You see BMWs around here, but they're usually C classes, which even that I'll talk about. I mean, I was talking to the guy who, one of the owners of Mustard Seed, and it's not the Mustard Seed, it's something.
Oh, I know you don't.
Yeah, it's John, and he has an AMG Mercedes, and he says you can take the keys one of these days and do it, which I want to, but he's super busy because like they're doing like lunch and dinner, like because the Brick House opens at like 10, maybe 11, 12. Noon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're running that pizza place from like 9 to 9 every day, and people will come in. I mean, it's the old lady contingent at noon. That place is hilarious because it's like cafeteria family seating in there. There's no dividers between anything, and I guess that was their business way. One of their business models, like, look, we're going to maximize this room and just tables, and just keep the prices low. And the Brick House is is the opposite thing. Yeah,
low paying like restaurant or like cheaper restaurants, usually it's kind of like quick service in and out kind of stuff. Because like when you're serving those kind of tables, and if it's like a $20 bill, you're only getting $5 off of it. So you kind of want people in and out, in and out, like flip tables.
Yeah,
the Brick House is kind of like lay back, enjoy your time here. You know what I mean? It takes several hours. I don't care.
Yeah, and I will order the desserts from time to time. I will order the cheese sticks, and if you got to cut mics for this, you can let me. Okay, I have a question, and I'm going to ask you to cut mics. So you see our two little, you see all the two potentiometers with the ones that have no lights on them? Okay, the slidey ones. Let me show you. I'll show you what cutting mics mean. So these are potentiometers, and you know what? To make things easier, I'll just put everything down, and this mic should be off anyway. On boards, when the light is on, it means it's off, which really means mute. So these are the buttons that turn it on and off. So hit those two buttons right there. It's going to kill both of our mics. Okay. So I asked a very specific question that I didn't want people to hear. Did people say there's no sound? There's no sound?
Yeah. It was a mute moment.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Insider talk there.
Oh, someone super chat.
Yeah.
Please read some relaxing weather for Chicago.
Okay. So our plan is with the channel to like triple the amount of super chats, but we need like guests for that. And also to be able to give a value add, an additional value add for the people who do super chats, that I hope the video will be able to play into that. Perhaps we will run like a feed of the channel going up in the background or something. All right, so when people ask me to read the weather, they want me to read stuff in the Weather Channel voice, and they want Chicago. And now your local weather for Chicago, Illinois. Currently, the temperature is 72 degrees. Today's high was 75 degrees with a low of 55. Air quality, moderate. Sunrise was at 6:30 a.m. Sunset will be at 7:01 p.m. Chance of rain, 10%. Humidity, 78%. Winds, northeast at 10 miles an hour, up my butt. Feels like making love. Precipitation, big loads. Pressure is holding steady at 30 inches of mercury. Visibility, 9 miles. UV index, yes. And now your extended forecast for Chicago. Thursday will be sunny. High 82 degrees with a low of 63. Friday, partly sunny with a high of I am very. Saturday, partly sunny with a high of I think I smoked too much with a low of oh God, I think I'm freaking out. Sunday, I love this song. Partly cloudy with a wind chill of 89. And that was your local weather for Chicago hot dog. Thank you.
You get an applause.
So normally these things go typically for an hour. How long have we been at this? There's usually a counter up here somewhere.
Oh, 40 minutes now.
40 minutes. All right. I guess there's not that many people in here, not many super chats since we didn't announce. Normally we're doing these things on Thursdays. Some people figured that out. Future plan would be actually, can you turn the light on? It's the old style push button switch.
Push button.
Yeah, you see it there? Yeah. There we go.
Wait.
You like that?
Give it a test run. It's interesting. What the hell? I thought my house was kind of old, but we don't have one of those lights in there.
Yeah, that's like
We just have a lot of outlets everywhere. It's really weird.
a lot of electrical outlets.
Yeah, like in our living room, 1, 2, at least 7 of them.
Damn.
In there. It's kind of nice, but like,
Are they grounded at least, or are they not grounded?
as in,
You got to have that little adapter. They're 2-prongers only, or they got to have 3.
they have a 3.
Okay.
They're safe.
Yeah.
But they aren't like in the wall. That's the only thing. They're kind of like, oh wait, those are electrical wires. But they're kind of like that. They stick out like that, kind of.
Oh.
And they're like throughout the whole wall.
So there's like a box, and they're like extended from the wall.
Yeah. So
When
there's
would-
like a box and then like a wire. that goes
Do
around
you
each
know when
box.
where your house was built? When were your house was built?
Oh man, I could probably say like 60s,
Okay.
maybe.
I mean, we could just look at your town and pull up Zillow and find out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We can just do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is it Zillow?
Yeah. Zillow eventually starts becoming your new pornography. Is just looking at houses for sale.
Wait, how do you spell that? Wait.
Zillow.
Zillow.
And immediately it wants you to download the app, but
No, you gave me a little spam. Oh yeah, there it is.
and I'm just typing in the town.
Should put like my exact address for it.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody where it is.
I'm gonna hide my phone down here so no one can see it.
Yeah. Doing like when I was a teacher. Oh, what is this house in New Ringgold? 2,227 square feet and a 3-car garage. I mean, it's expensive. It's $400,000. It's 3-car garage and a big driveway. The only problem is it's still a gravel driveway. You have to spend a G to probably pave that. I know when we're gonna get done running all this wire out to the garage, and when I'm done with all of Russell's labor, it's gonna be.
Oh my god, 1850.
Oh, your house was 1850. It's older than this.
Holy shit!
So you got like a miner's house, I think, if your town is correct, because everything. Well, even though your area is still south of the mountain.
Yeah.
But still, I guess it was all miners. Like I think everybody in this town was either farmers or the people who own the land up there. But there's still like a lot of row houses going on here. So although we're not in one right now.
Still 1850. Holy crap.
1850.
That's probably why all the outlets are like strung out everywhere in the house.
Yeah, because
it was when electricity was becoming a big thing, and they're like, "Oh my god, we need outlets everywhere."
Yeah,
probably.
I'm thinking like it would have just been added on as the years went on.
Yeah,
because when houses became electrified, and probably around here it lagged behind. So who knows when they put them in.
I feel like whoever put those outlets in are really overzealous about them. I bet.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if it was
crazy.
if they were put in places like the furniture was there and they didn't feel like moving them, so they put where furniture wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. Any other super chats in there? There is another one where we can see. There is another option where we can see every single one. I have it saved in a tab. If I can have the thingamabobber. If we go open new one, open this, and then that shows the most recent ones. You go see all, and then no review of that. Xterra. All right, so
show the clip too.
Yeah.
Where is that?
The only thing about doing this is that every time you want to check, you have to close it, refresh it, and then load it again. But it's still just there in the style. So you're thinking about colleges and thinking about a major. Where are you in that?
Two things.
Okay.
Very on opposite sides of what I am wanting to do. One
Okay.
is insurance agency.
Okay.
Like the salesman of it.
Okay. Sales. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't seem too hard because it's all public. What's the word I'm looking for? Serving stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of related to that. Talking to people and just being very outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't be too hard for me, I think. But and where was I going to go?
Well,
I did some research on it. Like I watched some YouTube videos of people that like run businesses in it.
Yeah.
See how they like do their work.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems interesting. It doesn't seem too hard. It's just pretty much you start as an apprentice,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can go to schooling from after that.
What attracts you about the insurance business?
Mostly the money. Not gonna lie.
Not a lot. I mean, hey, some of my best investments in stocks have been insurance companies.
Yeah,
they're not going anywhere.
They're not going.
Health
anywhere.
insurance, car insurance, house insurance.
That's the big thing too. Is it's something that's solid and
Yeah.
not going anywhere soon.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone needs it at some point in their life, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, it's just the starting rate when you get into it, and then at some point you can make up to like 250,000 a year.
Tight.
More.
Oh yeah.
Even
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Like $500,000. Like
Mm-hmm.
it depends on how your commissions are,
Mm-hmm.
how well you're known in it too. But like
Mm-hmm.
still, like just the starting rate and just doing it for the first 5 years seems really good.
Mm-hmm.
And just I'll be set right away.
What specific type of insurance do you feel knowledge about, or that you want to learn more about?
I think it was the health insurance.
Okay.
I think because I think that's the one where you really go in and make your money's worth for it
Mm-hmm.
when you do sell commissions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the auto insurance too. I think that's another good one. I forget.
Perhaps. I mean, with my experience with auto insurance, and I could be completely wrong about this, is all I want to know is, well, what's the least amount that I have to pay?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's just liability. Like with the 4Runner, there's just liability on it.
Yeah.
And with the Nairo, because it's new, there is comprehensive on it. And then that's it. Well, which do you want? I don't know. Just give me something basic.
Just like that.
Which I know I'm setting myself up to be upselled. It's like, well, like you're just using it for this. Well, it is a pretty nice car. I recommend this. So I would be the type of like client, I guess, who just wants the simple answer and will probably say yes to whatever the salesperson recommends.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, health insurance, definitely. I mean, one of my winners in my portfolio is United Healthcare.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was so far a great return on my SEP, which is self-funded retirement plan.
Okay.
Which you can open like now.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
If I wish I could tell myself when I was in my 20s to open up a self-funded IRA, it doesn't have it be a Roth. Why not? Which is stuff you're not going to touch until you're 65. Yeah. And it's good that you had a positive reaction to that, because myself's like, I'm not going to worry about that. Me, the artistic person, like I'll probably be dead by then or something like that. And now realizing, shit, if I would have started investing in my 20s, I'd be a millionaire now, having done nothing. So yeah,
it's a good thing that you're actually into it, because I've been looking into the stock stuff too in the last few years.
Yeah,
I think I've only been investing for like 2 years now at this point.
What do you use?
Robinhood. So it's not super good, but I've heard it's a great starter platform, I guess.
Oh yeah, a bunch of people use Robinhood. I use TD Ameritrade, and this is a free plug for them because they don't charge commission. So you can just buy one stonk and be fine. And like, it was not going to cost you anything apart from whatever you bid, or if you're buying at market price.
Okay.
And that I just scan it when it's time to donate. Actually, I can't. I have to physically mail in a check, and then it'll appear in my money market, and then I can take it. So there is like a week delay or something like that. But usually when I do my investments, it's what the maximum amount I can contribute, I do. And then it'll be a couple $1,000s in there, which I won't immediately start investing. I'll just have the watch list of all the stocks I've figured out that I want while on my phone on the toilet. And then when it comes time once a year to load up, I'm like, well, have a little bit of this, have a little bit of that. And it's,
so you put it else, where else do you put it?
Yeah. Yeah. Very rarely do I see this because I'm usually thinking about it for so long, but I've dumped some real losers over the year. Borg Warner was a real one, because I thought we were going to go to I misjudged. I thought we would all go to turbocharged small cylinder engines. So Borg Warner was going to sell a lot of turbochargers. Turns out that's not the case. We're going EV. So I lost 1,000 or something on that. My winners are United Healthcare. Apple is almost carrying my portfolio. Apple's fantastic.
Pretty sure I have Apple.
Yeah, APPL. So. They did a 7-to-1 split recently. That's where that's you know about splits?
Kind of.
This is a stock. This is a stock podcast now. So sometimes when a particular stock price gets too high, and the company wants more average people to invest in it, they will issue more shares of stock. So they will devalue the stock, but you will get more of it. So say your stock price is something crazy, like $1,000 a share, which Tesla was for a while. That's pretty high for a stock. Now, granted, you have Berkshire Hathaway that has never split, and that's over $200,000 a share. Berkshire Hathaway's real estate. And so say it's $1,000 and they do a 10-to-1 split. So now for every one share, now you have 10 shares. So if you only have one, now you own 10 shares.
That's not bad.
You have 10, you have 100. Yeah. And the stock price is then devalued by that amount. But when that happens, when a company announces they're about to split, everybody buys to get in on that.
It goes probably down a little bit.
A little bit and up a little bit. And then, it always goes up because people get really excited, especially if it's a stock that pays a dividend like Apple. You know about dividends?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think
almost all my stocks are dividend stocks because I want to be paid to wait. Every quarter they pay you. So you just get more money for you to, and that's usually my toilet buying.
And even if it's like cents at a time, it's still going somewhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Now with TD Ameritrade, you can go auto reinvest them, or it can go right in your money market. So you have more money. A money market, just, you know what that means?
Kind of.
Okay. The money market is the bank account of your stock portfolio.
Okay.
That's money that's not invested in any sort of security. That's just there for waiting to be invested. You can't withdraw money from that with like a credit card. I mean, you can transfer some of that money out of the money market into your linked bank account. But normally when you do that, the IRS goes, oh, you're, where's my cut? So there's that. So normally your money market just stays in there until you're 65 when it comes time to take distributions. Legally, you can't keep money in there. You have to start taking it out little bit by little bit. And that's normally when people are successful and suddenly they have to take distributions out of their money market, they just end up down in Hamburg and start buying RVs because they got to. They're old and they're going to buy something with it. So they're going to buy some fuck off big thing with a like a Duramax diesel in it, and it's just an Allison transmission. Like, we're gonna see the world now in our $80,000 used or $210,000 thing. I wonder how many. Those guys must have been just jizzing every single day down at that place by the Cabela's where they sell the RVs when the pandemic hit, where everybody was buying fucking RVs because there was nothing to do. Now, I don't know if people are selling RVs or what.
They're probably just sitting right now.
Yeah.
Tires are running, everything.
Yeah. Do you know anybody who owns an RV? Because I don't. Well, I do, but it's
a family member.
Yeah.
My grandma's or my mom's side, my step grandfather, he has like this huge RV, and he's been traveling the world with it probably for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know how you can control that whole thing. That's a lot.
Yeah, they drive worse than school buses.
I believe
but people love the shit out of those things. And it's like, what is it, like $250,000, not $210 to fill that thing up with diesel?
Jeez.
They have these huge tanks. And then you go someplace, and of course, a number of my friends are into general aviation. That's money. Like Greg, who you'll meet, and Tony, who you'll probably meet. Tony doesn't have a plane. He wants one. He wants a North American Navion.
What the heck?
I'll tell you about that. It's a car podcast. The Navion was this plane made in like the 50s and I think the 60s. Kind of like North American is a company that made the not the P-38, P-51 Mustang from World War II that made a fighter plane.
Shoot.
If I show you a picture of a P-51 Mustang, you're gonna go,
"Oh!" You see an image and be like, "Oh."
Did you see Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
All right. So at the very end, when Tom Hanks is there, fruitlessly shooting at the tank, and then suddenly it blows up, and then you see this plane go over there. That was a P-51. Maybe I'll show it to you, and you go, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about now at this point. Picture may just
P-51 auto completes to Mustang. Oh, and it just loaded the Wikipedia. I need a good picture. I don't want old black and white something. I want something cool.
Oops.
Well, it's not. I'm trying to make it there. It goes. Why won't it get bigger when I do that thing? Does that look familiar?
Oh yeah, very familiar.
Okay. So North American, the company that made that, made a civilian plane that's smaller than that, but kind of looks like it a little bit. Had a bubble canopy. Its tail kind of looked the same. And people got really excited and they bought this thing. And it's a tiny little plane, as Tony says. It goes in the air and it lands, but it's cool looking. It's like the airplane equivalent of a Subaru 22B. Okay, that stare says you never heard of this. Do you know the Subaru guys? Okay.
I've heard of them.
Do you know at every convention there's usually a guy in like a Toyota 86 / Scion FRS / okay. Did you see Baby Driver? Okay.
No, I've not.
Batting zeros here, aren't I? All right. The type of guy who has stickers all over their car pretending they're a race car driver and they're at sheets and they do that two-step move where they come in and go that. Okay, that's the airplane equivalent of that guy. But I'm a World War II fighter. I am. Gets out of the plane with a scarf and a leather jacket and goggles that are unnecessary because it's a closed cockpit. So that's what Tony wants. And then Greg, who owns a plane, and he's always, you want to go flying someday. Greg is like, oh, let's go flying. He has a Piper PA-28 Archer, which is pretty much your car. It's just an plane. It is plane. It goes plane. It goes sky. It doesn't do anything except look at me. We'll go. Doesn't do anything. It's not meant to do anything other than last for a long time. And you just sort of go in the air and it
just putts.
And it putts along. Its gear does not retract. It just stays down. Now most general aviations have fixed gear. Well, the Mooney, I think, retracts. Anyway, I'm being very specific here. How did I get on the thing about planes?
Because your buddy had a plane.
All right. I don't even know why I brought up Greg. We're talking about houses. He owns this house. There exists on my second channel, or the one you're watching right now, if you're watching this live, of a few things of me finally having my first landing, being able to land a plane. It was sort of weird because he's been teaching me to fly, and we just go up. He'd hand me the controls, those 2 sets of controls, one for each seat. And he'd go up, and I'd fly around, and I'd fly left seat. So I'd fly from the driver's seat, even though you can fly the plane from either seat. And I'd fly around. He'd give me instructions. On this time, he's like, okay, pull the power back, aim at the runway. We'll take you down. And then I realized we're getting pretty close to the ground, and he hasn't asked for the controls yet. And he casually says, okay, you're good. You're going to land. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to land the plane. So the only way, and I'm sorry for adjusting the mic, and you're hearing me adjust the mic. The only way I could mentally not get too anxious about it was to just turn on the comedy. So I would just do the pilot. Okay, folks, gonna be doing 1 notch of flaps. Have a 1 notch of flaps. That's good. Drawing back the RPM to 2,100 RPM. That is good. And so I UD'd my entire way down, and then I landed the plane on complete power.
Power.
Yeah. Any super chats? Anything coming in? Any colored things pop up?
Not seen anything colored.
Okay. All right. Anybody in the chat crying that I didn't answer their question?
I don't see any.
Okay. Well, we'll take a regular chat question then. Pick one you like there.
Them talking about the topics we've been talking about.
Are they just talking amongst themselves there?
Someone's confused about what's happening.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be better at the chat. So confused with this.
You're looking at the live one there, right? Next to the image of ourselves.
Someone said I'm too young for the RCR references.
Oh, are we talking about stuff from? Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about the thing about airplanes is you're always talking about stuff from like the 50s and 60s and 70s, because that was when the airplane boom was happening, when they were building. They thought everybody's going to learn how to fly in the future, and then no one did. So they built a lot of planes there, a lot of general aviation planes, and then it was just sort of like, I don't know what they're building a lot of now, like where they thought everybody was going to be rich, or so there exists a certain product that they thought was going to be everywhere and then nowhere. MP3 players, maybe. But we're talking about stuff that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars versus like little consumer products, or like an entire industry go up under. Consoles. Do people still use consoles, or is everything now the Switch?
People still use consoles.
Okay. What? This is a dumb question, but what PlayStation are we on now?
Oh my god, what even name do they have for it now? It's like the Xbox.
What's the name? What's the name of the PlayStation? It's called the Xbox.
No, the PlayStation 5. And I'm trying to think
Are
of the
we?
Xbox name.
Someone will chat in the chat. What's the PlayStation we're on now?
5 for sure.
5
for sure.
I was talking to an electrician, and he has whatever PlayStation, and he says when that thing is working hard, it's drawing 1 amp.
Oh, yeah, super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat. What is it?
When is the RCR car show happening?
There is no time for an RCR car show. We don't have a venue anymore because we outgrew the racquetball club. We're too big for that parking lot. And also, and I mentioned this before, mentally it's difficult for me to do the car show because imagine if this isn't really imagine if you're simultaneously the guest of honor at a convention, but also staff. That's what it's kind of like to run a car show for me because I'm simultaneously running it and also the most important person there that everybody wants to talk to and also talk at.
Kind of like a lot going on in one go.
Yeah. Everybody wants to tell me about their car. And I understand that's why you go to a car show is to show off your blank. What's worked out for me is when I'm at a car show where I'm not the focus. Or go to a car show that's already there. I talked to, I won't say his name, but I talked to the chair of Philadelphia. He wants to do something RCR related, and I'm down for that. Have the channel be involved to some degree, but these are two different cultures, car culture and furry culture. And although there's overlap, although many of my fans are from both places, and even now some conventions have their own car shows. It's very, very small. Yeah. AC has one.
I think FD last year had one too.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, it was at the casino. I think I was part of it because I think I still had
pictures from it. Like
because I had
like the map of like the parking lot and like draw a little square where everyone's going to be.
Oh, okay. So then I missed it because I think I was only there for one night and I missed it the later day. Anyway, it's very difficult to be on for almost 8 hours. To be, like personality wise, be ready and super and sociable and talking to everybody all the time. And your vocal cords get blown out by the end of it. And all I want to do is lie face down on a couch. Cause it's the whole introvert thing where, your social batteries just get totally drained. So I need someone there I need like 2 or 3 other low-level celebrities like myself to take the load off, for Christ's sakes.
Driving somewhere else.
Yeah. You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like, imagine being like at FD, imagine being like Jib, who is the guest of honor. I never saw him without like 10 people around him, just wanting his attention. And what does that guy do? He just does animations and that's it?
Skateboards too.
Yeah.
There's another little stick too. Yeah.
I want to know how, because he has a lot of followers, but I want to know like how and why if he's formed a business around it, monetized it in any way.
Does he do commissions at all?
I don't know. Adler does.
Yeah.
And I collaborated with him all the time. It's interesting because he's not a car guy, but he knows how to drive stick and he knows how to drive fast because he just grew up driving stick shift and didn't really think anything of it. Because like, here's all cars are stick. This is how a car operates. All right. But I've been around him at Midwest and there's like wherever he goes, like people are following him at all times, like just wanting to talk to him. And I found this, and I was talking about him to Justin Bernash, who also works with him to help him monetize his stuff, like my merch guy. And for people watching, it's the same guy who does the giveaways. There's a disconnect between the amount of clout he has and the amount of money he's making. Between Justin and myself, we're trying to find a way for him to quadruple his income because that's where it should be for the amount of work he puts in. And I've seen that also with Appalachian thru hikers. Some of these people only have like 5,000 YouTube subscribers and already they're sponsored by like backpacking outdoorsing companies and stuff like that. And they're getting free stuff. Whether they're getting money for shout outs or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
They should be. But I guess like it's like the big fish, small pond sort of thing. I don't know. What have you experienced in that sort of world?
Not too much.
Not too much.
I barely have ever touched foot in like the selling stuff like that.
Mm.
Having a huge like following and stuff.
Mm.
Like most I've tried to do for gaining a following is back when I used to post Instagram clips.
Yeah.
Of my gameplay and stuff back then.
What sort of games?
Like Battlefield 4, Destiny, and all that kind of shit. God too.
What was it? Like what was your angle? What was your angle with your clips? Like how were you trying to like differentiate yourself from everybody else who just posts clips of video games?
I think I kind of just followed the crowd.
Oh,
saw what everyone else is doing, and I was like, oh, that seems kind of fun to do. I think
Okay.
it's kind of more like a hobby thing.
Right.
And it didn't really get too far from there. I tried doing the live streaming stuff, and I had at one point like one person that would come in every time I'd live stream.
Yeah.
And like chat just a little bit, but like I never really got the flow of it and kept it going.
It's tough to play a video game and talk at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried it like once or twice. I'm like, this is tough.
It's two focuses.
And it's hard. It's like driving and being engaging on camera.
Yeah.
And actually talking about the car. Like Matt Farah can do it, like this one other car YouTuber can do it fantastic. Nick and I can sort of do it, but we're talking about other stuff. We're just bullshitting while driving whatever. Although people seem to like that. I gotta clean my lens. This case is so beat up because it's just around like car chemicals and stuff like that. So the little cover over the lens, like the extra cover over the lens, is permanently like clouded.
Oh my god!
So when I take pictures, they're like, "Wipe your freaking lens! It looks disgusting."
It's like I did
it, and it isn't doing it.
It fixed.
How long have we been going? Has this been an hour?
Hour 11.
Hour 11. We gotta see. This would be cool if we had more people here. And when we have like chairs and stuff, so it's not quite at the table. So yeah. Any closing thoughts?
I've kind of just been talking stuff for the last little bit.
Okay.
Doing whatever.
Okay, folks. Thank you for watching RCR number, I think, 116. Our special guest, Ethan, who learned the boards pretty quick. I mean, you're a natural at this. I mean,
I was a little awkward the whole time. I mean, this is the first podcast I've done too, so I'm kind of just like, oh, this is what.
No, you're actually talking. You're responding. You're reading the thing. You're obviously good at this. I mean, it comes from being sociable at work. You know,
True.
Yeah. So, and I can already tell you'll probably be a good salesman just to like go with the flow, as opposed to some people I've had on the podcast where they're like, the people who could never do speeches in front of a class.
Yeah.
Who froze up like that.
It's kind of funny because I used to do that too.
Yeah.
Like it's weird how I'm somewhat outgoing in that kind of sense socially.
Well, how did you get over like speaking in front of the class?
I think it was with serving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what really broke my shell.
Yeah.
Just having to get in front of people and like talk to them and like sell them stuff.
Yeah.
Like at the table, I think that's pretty much what broke it for me.
So you were working in food service like while you were still in school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Since I've been 16.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this background in just the natural sales.
Yeah, I know what's up with it.
Yeah. You can probably like Justin. I'll tell you about Justin. Anyway, like a person who also was in sales. Of course, people have heard me talk about Burnash because he almost is part of a show now, and that we work together so much. But he's the type of guy who would start a business, get it running, sell the business, start another one, get it running, sell a business. He's on Yep.
Yeah.
Flip a business. It's not even that he flipped it. He's building it from ground up. So, although there are people who flip businesses as well, but well, anyway, thank you to everybody who watched this whole podcast on a Thursday evening. Thank you to everybody who donated to Super Chats. Your money will be spent well this coming week as we are going down to Georgia to be with the YouTuber Do It With Dan and be interviewed by him while driving go-karts. Weird interview. but we're going to be doing racetrack stuff down there. It'd be good to get out of PA for a while. Thank you to everybody who donates to Patreon. You're allowing Regular Car Reviews to exist as a much larger channel than it really is. Thank you to everybody who tunes in Monday. So sorry there wasn't a video this Monday, but we'll be back to our regular schedule starting this coming Monday. And thank you to everybody who just generally enjoys our crazy car videos. And we need to do more stuff, like put a bumper in on our main channel, because we're on our second channel right now, to tell people that, hey, there's a podcast, and it's going to be better. We're going to get more guests. Definitely, Ethan is welcome back anytime he wants. And anybody saying anything neat on the chat going by?
Yeah, peace.
Peace. Everybody's peacing out. Great. Okay. That's it. Thank you for joining, August. Thank you for joining. Have a great night. Bye. And you can just close it right there. It just says end stream.